It's the final super over at the end of the second test match. I've picked out 6 deliveries for the super over, but Harmy, feel free to imagine whatever delivery you like and make any comment on what. I'm going to start first one with Joe Root, 36th test 100, draws level with Rahul Dravid, and he continues to be the designated driver, doesn't he? And he just plays like Joe Root, like the Joe Root we've always known.
He does, yeah, but he couldn't resist, could he? I mean, the smile, the little cheeky chappy smile on his face when he got to that. He would never do it, so I'll do it for him. I'm sure middle finger towards all them people had a go at Joe when Bazball was in its infancy and everybody's going, Joe Root's got to play Joe Root way. I bet he must have thought as he was running towards Ben Stokes when he's reverse scooped that ball to go to 100, the smile on his face might have been an up yours to a few people that tried to, even contemplated ridicule and criticise one of the greatest players that's ever played cricket for England. He was magnificent again. He went about it in his own special, unique way, and you could see Ben was trying a few things when he first came in, and I think by the end Ben was like trying to just make sure he was there for that special moment when Joe got to a position of 3 figures and then got over the line. Brilliant.
Yeah, well, he always said that he never regarded the reverse ramp scoop as a risky shot, and we've seen him practice it in the nets. So he's just saying, I've still got it, I'm still going to play it, even if I am going to get to 100 in it. Talking of landmarks and middle fingers, Ben Stokes declaring with himself on 49. This is the second ball, Ben Stokes, of the super over. I honestly don't know whether he knew that he was on 49. So there's that, and then there's coming on at the end to knock the tail over, bowling 14 balls and finishing with 3 for 5.
Yeah, captain's prerogative at the end, wasn't it? Right, it's capped the easy wickets. He's got his average down. He's quite happy walking off 3 for 5. I'm sure one of the senior men. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe said that to him as the ball was in the air, and we give him a high five, and he's captain looks after himself again. I don't think whether did he know. Did he care? I'm sure he didn't care whether he was on 49, 59, 79. Once Joe Root got out, he was always going to declare. And another great day for the England captain.
Okay, ball number 3 is Ollie Pope. I've just selected him at random because he's made such an impression in both Test matches on me, not just with the 66 and 77, 2 very, very important innings, and I think series-shaping innings, the partnerships anyway. But absolutely immaculate. We were a bit sarcastic about England not bringing a regular reserve keeper and part-timer taking the gloves for the first 2 Test matches. But we used the 2 words, flawless and faultless. And he caught absolutely everything, even the non-edges.
He did. He was. His energy's been good. That partnership with Brook here was probably his best innings. I think he got, obviously, you look at the last 2 weeks, he got 80 odd in Christchurch, and that was under the ridiculous pressure of everybody questioning his place. And he's gone down to number 6 where he feels more comfortable batting. This one was a tougher innings. I thought it was a better innings, even though he got 20 runs less. I think it was a more difficult surface for him to bat on. And you know what? England might have dodged a bullet here, really have, and I'm trying to say this with the most up respect I can possibly give to Jordan Cox, but now Ollie Pope's played, kept wicket, and Jacob Bethel's came into the team. I actually think I don't think it could have gone any better for Rob Key, Luke Wright, Brendan McCullum, and Ben Stokes. That would we be marvelling in high praise of a young player like we have been towards Jacob Bethel. If Jordan Cox had done the same thing, probably not. So Jordan Cox breaking a thumb, unfortunately for him, has maybe opened the door for, I think, a very, very good young player who I think has got a huge future in Test match cricket. And Ollie Pope does what good team players do. Well, tough job, I'll do it. And he's gone to number 3. Tough job, I'll do it. I'll keep wicket. He's done it in Pakistan, he's done it here. And now you might not need to take a backup wicketkeeper to Australia. You might be able to take. There might be a difference between taking an extra fast bowler, a young rookie fast bowler, because you can go, we'll take Jamie Smith and Ollie Pope, and if we're unlucky that they both get injured in the same game, then we'll send for an SOS. But Ollie Pope's shown, what a good all-round qualities he's got, both on the field, and he's a great kid off the field as well.
And I have to say that he's looked the part at number 6. I mean, that's the point. There are some who are still not convinced about him at number 3. Anyway, ball number 4. Tom Blundell, all about being at the back end of your career, people writing you off, people saying it's time for him to move on, we need to make a change. He's a very popular character, very popular cricketer, great record against England, but 150 in 27 innings, and there are some who said that he shouldn't have played this series. So for him to come out and score 100, wonderful. Yeah,
it is wonderful. I backed him to play because of the experience you need, and it's two disciplines. You're leaving him out because of his batting, and is it affecting his glove work? Well, I thought it did at Christchurch, but I think he's been such a cornerstone in this unit in a big series like an England series with pressure on the line. I thought you had to give him one more chance or extend the chance that little bit longer, and I think he's repaid that today. He's the only one that's really thrown a punch back at England from a batting point of view for a consistent period of time. And it was a great way for him to go, to 100. Where he goes from here and where that goes and beyond, it's a lonely place. It is. When it's a team sport for me, played by individuals. And when you're Devon Conway, when you're Tim Southey, when you're Tom Blundell, it is a lonely place. You can be the best bloke in the dressing room as much as you want. You can have all your teammates around you and give the greatest comfort you possibly can. But it's still a lonely place when the door closes or you're standing out in the deep and the little Spanish waiter on the shoulders telling you that you're finished. It is a lonely place, but I'm pleased for the lad because he deserved it. He batted really well.
Who's the Spanish waiter?
Well, there's all that. I used to get him when I was batting. A little Spanish waiter on my shoulder going, "You can hit this for 6. You can hit this for 6." And then you go, and then he goes to the other shoulder and go, "Totally you couldn't. And that man on the shoulder, the man in your head, tells you so many negative things. So sometimes it's good to you and he's positive to you, but more often than not, he's negative to you. And you don't need external noise, because if you look deep down and you look at yourself, honestly, the numbers you're talking about, 20 odd innings, you know yourself that's not good enough. And he's come back with 100, which is great.
I'm glad to hear that Devon Conway wasn't actually fielding by himself in the deep for 2 Test matches. Because he would have had the Spanish waiter on his shoulder.
I think he's on them on both shoulders.
Okay. Brydon Carse features once again. He's got 17 wickets. If you'd said to him before the series began, well, first of all, you're definitely playing the first 2 tests, he'd be delighted. If you told him that he would take 17 wickets in the series, he'd have taken that. He's taken them in 2 Test matches. It's the most wickets taken by any visiting seamer since Vernon Philander in 2012. He took 21. Carse could go past him. In fact, I'd back him to go past him if he plays. He had a blister or some impact problem, didn't he? And he was obviously bowling in pain. But it seems to me that he's the kind of guy that doesn't mind a bit of pain, because he bowled straight through it.
No, he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. Get in the sea for a couple of days. Try and get the. Well, it's obviously a wound or there's something there, an open wound, which is so uncomfortable as a bowler. It is. It's pain in the backside. You look down and you go, there's nothing there. But I tell you what, it hurts like hell when you make the impact for about 3 or 4 seconds, and it wears off by the time you walk back to your mark and it comes again. It's awkward. It's not very nice, but it's manageable and it's fine. And I've got no doubt that when we get to Seddon Park, I'd imagine I'd see Brydon Carse's name on the team sheet, and he probably will go past Vernon Philander. He's been excellent this last 2 weeks.
Okay, final ball of the final super over of the second Test match. And who else can we pay tribute to other than Martin Crowe and Graham Thorpe? England have won the inaugural Crowe-Thorpe Trophy, and we did, as promised, we promised we would, raise a glass of red to both of them. They both enjoyed a glass of red, and I think it means a lot to the players, all of these players, that those 2 guys are remembered and they have something tangible and meaningful to play for.
100%, couldn't agree more. We spoke to, it was a moving tribute at lunchtime today, talking to the great commentator and great friend of Martin Crowe, Ian Smith. I enjoyed that thoroughly, as much as it was a lump in your throat. chat, and it was a positive one. It was and the two guys have got a lot of influences in that. You know, their influence spreads in that room, them two rooms, the dressing rooms, because of McCullum and Jeetan Patel growing up, playing, and thinking, I want to be Martin Crowe. You know, Harry Brooks said on an interview at the end, his 10-year-old self. Joe Root keeps talking. He said to me before the first Test match, his 150th, his 12-year-old self, what would it mean to him and what he went through. When Jeetan Patel was 12-year-old and Brendan McCullum was 12-year-old, they probably wanted to be Martin Crowe. And that's fitting for the game. And obviously Trez and Collie played with Thorpe. So I mean, and the players obviously got coached by Thorpe. So yes, it's a fitting tribute to two great men. And like I said, on upstairs with Ian Smith and your good self, you wait till Ben Stokes talks about receiving that trophy, and I think you'll realise what it means to the England captain.
There you go. There's your super over from the second Test match.